Another perfect day in paradise. It's only 89 degrees so far. Hopefully it stays there. We'd like to start everything off like we do always, honoring God and our great nation. Father Matthew Grunfield. Is he here? There you are, sir. Take us away.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we give thanks for this beautiful morning and this beautiful place we call home. We ask that you would bless this meeting, that the decisions made here are ones that are wise and build up our community. We pray for all of those who benefit from tourism in our community, those whose economic livelihoods depend on it. And we pray for all of those who travel for their safety on their way here and back home, that they may find this a place of refreshment and renewal. And we pray that you would bless us in all we do. In your most holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Was I supposed to start that?
Close enough.
Good enough.
Rub-a-dub-dub. Let's go.
Do you want to do the introductions then? We'll start with you, Mayor Brown.
Thank you. Gene Brown, Mayor, City of Bradenton.
Shirley Groover Bryant, Mayor of the City of Palmetto.
Ray Turner, Commissioner for District 5.
Norma Kennedy, interested a citizen.
David Wick, interested citizen.
Elliot Falcioni, Tourism Director, Manatee County. All the TDC members that are not here have excused absences. We do have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for announcing. All right, let's move on to the meeting minutes. We need approval for June 10th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
They are moved. Now, we'd like to open it up for public comment. Is there anybody here that has anything they'd like to say, add, or forever hold your peace? We're good? Okay. SRQ update, Mark Stuckney.
Good morning. Good morning, council members. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Mark Stuckey. I'm the Executive Vice President, Chief of Staff for the Sarasota Bradenton International Airport. I also do the air service development for the airport. So we're going to talk about some of the growth we've seen over the last 5-6 years and how we got there and some of the construction projects that are happening. So I have a PowerPoint. We'll go through that. All right, so airline and destination growth. Over the last 6 years, starting in March of 2018, we've added 6 new airlines. I have 41 new destinations. That's 48 now. Our seats are up 232%. Passengers are up 213%. We are the #1 fastest growing airport in Florida and also the #1 fastest growing airport in the U.S. when comparing 2018 to 2023.
That's exciting.
So it's been a very exciting time at the airport and with lots of challenges. So the 6 airlines we added in March of 2018 was our first low-cost carrier that entered the market, Allegiant Airlines. They started with 3 destinations, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Indianapolis. Since that time, they've continued to grow. They're at 28 destinations right now, and they are tied with Delta as our second largest carrier behind Southwest Airlines. We've also added Avelo, which flies to two destinations, Breeze, which serves 8 destinations, Frontier, they serve 3 destinations, Sun Country, they serve Minneapolis only, and Southwest, which has, I don't even know the latest count, but probably around 20 destinations out of our airport. So this is where we were in 2018. It was a pretty sad situation. I remember calling Elliot at Bradenton CVB and our counterpart at Visit Sarasota and saying, let's get a team together. We called ourselves the Air Service Strategy Team. We didn't like that. We didn't like the acronyms for that one, so we just went to Air Service Team. But we were like, what do we do? How do we grow this airport? And one of the things we decided was we were going to put together the best incentive program in the United States. The FAA does restrict what the airport can provide. We can provide up to 2 years of incentives for any new service that we get. So we waive all fees for 2 years for any new route that's added. In addition, we provide marketing monies to make sure that we fill those planes. It's very important. Where the CVBs came in and helped was with the marketing side. These airlines have a $40 million plus asset that they're going to put into your market. It's important that they be able to fill the seats. Every time they take off and land, it's about a $10,000 plus route to fly to wherever they're going. So they need to make sure they sell the tickets to cover the fuel and the passengers. And I remember sitting with Elliot saying, Elliot, would you be able to travel with me, meet with the airlines and close the deals? And he was on board with that. And even today, even this week, we're going to be meeting with an airline up in Pittsburgh at the Pirates event. And those are the kind of things where when we're there, we talk to the airline network planners about the destination, what the destination has to offer as far as arts and cultural and beaches and golfing, outdoor activities, lodging, demographics. I think there's no better person to do that than our CVB director who knows that stuff better than anyone. When we go out, we not only do we do these events like we're doing this week, but we do a lot of what we call speed dating conferences with airlines, where we get 20-minute meetings with each airline. There's 3 of those each year. You have 450 commercial service airports in the United States, all trying to get more air service, and we're competing against each other to get these new airlines and new routes and new destinations, and it's very cutthroat. Of all the when we go to these speed dating conferences, there's typically consistently only 2 destination marketing organizations that attend. It's Elliot with Bradenton CVB, who goes with me, and Las Vegas DMO. It makes a difference. We can close deals at the table. Elliot can add additional marketing money, offer that to the network planning group if they have concerns about adding a new market. And over and over and over again, we've consistently been able to add more service. So that's a little background on how we started. Let me go back. This is where we are today. We added another 7 destinations just last week. Breeze and Airways announced Islip, New Haven, Akron-Canton, which is just south of Cleveland, Portland, Maine, New Haven, and Richmond, and Raleigh-Durham. So 7 new destinations. We continue, we think, with Allegiant, with our new terminal that'll open up in January, that Allegiant will be moving over there and will hopefully announce additional destinations. So we don't think the number of destinations will stop growing. So we're excited to see what Allegiant wants to add, and we'll see what happens here in the next month. These are just some charts that show the growth. It shows back in 2023, January 2023, we had, can't read it, just I have to get a little closer. 50,000 passengers, in-plane passengers for the month of January. In December of last year, we're at 197,000. So a huge, almost 4 times the number of passengers from 93 to the end of December 2023. And we haven't counted any of the service that we're getting this year. So we'll continue to see large numbers as we continue to grow. This is also some charts showing 2018, the beginning of 2018 versus the end of 2023. The chart on the left is all the airports, the top 100 airports in the United States. This is the percentage growth that we had on the far left versus everyone else. And then when you compare us to the Florida airports too, you'll see on the next slide that we also far exceed any Florida airport as well. So I think for a number of years, our lodging continued to grow in the area. The number of people in the area continued to grow. Most of the people were driving up and using Tampa Airport and a little bit of St. Pete Clearwater. And it got to the point where once we were able to bring in all these new destinations and new service, it stimulated the market, and people now are coming to our airport instead of the long drive up to Tampa, which is great. Every market, the blue is where we were, but every market that we serve out of our airport has grown over since 2018. You can see the different markets there, and no market has decreased in number of passengers. This is a chart showing our passenger growth from 2016 through 2023. Another big factor that made a huge difference in us being able to track service was in 2014, we paid off our mortgage, our bond that built the terminal. And we've been debt-free ever since. Being a debt-free airport has helped us keep our rates and charges really low. I was looking back at 2016, we had a $12 cost per enplane passenger. That's what Fort Myers and Tampa has right now for this next budget year. Our current cost per enplane passenger is $5.29. So that's what it costs the airline in airport fees to operate from our airport per passenger. So we have the lowest CPE, what we call cost per enplane passenger, between our airport, Tampa, and Fort Myers, and ours is less than half of what their number is, which is really, really nice. It makes us competitive. It makes it easier for the airlines to make profit out of our airport. Just quickly, I'll go through just a few of the projects that are front-facing that passengers and people that use our airport see. One is our ground transportation project. This should be done by the end of the year. It's going to provide a covered canopies, which is the orange area. And so for all the taxi pickups, Uber, Lyft will be moved down to this area instead of in front of the terminal. And then we have the MCAT and SCAT bus area to the far left. All of that will have orange. It's not highlighted in orange, but it also has covered canopies over there as well. And we extended the orange area over to so that people are covered all the way to the bus stop as well. Parking, we've added numerous parking lots. In the on the right side, you can see two yellow lot, kind of one of the orangish yellow. That's our shade lot. The one across the street from that is an overflow red lot. The shade lot holds over 500 spaces. The overflow A is over 400, and then the yellow on the far right is over 500. And then we're finishing up the one on the top left. That's kind of a pinkish color. That's going to be a remote parking lot, just kind of overflow for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And that's 560 spaces. So we won't run out of parking for Christmas or the holidays. We have plenty of parking spaces. Unfortunately, there are times when our long-term fills up and we have to direct people to these other lots. But we have 11 shuttle buses. We keep them running constantly. And so even if we do have to close our long-term and we direct people to one of the other lots, we do have quick service to get people to the terminal. So that was one of the problems we ran into when we started with all the growth, was to make sure we kept up with the parking. We are looking at building a parking garage. We've been in the design process for probably 9 months. We'll be bringing that to our board in November. We should have it done and finalized in November. But we realize that we need to build a parking garage. It's a very expensive endeavor. The parking garage will hold the not just public parking, but all the car rentals. So the Ready where you drop off and pick up your car rental will probably be on level 1, and then levels 2, 3, and 4 will be public parking. And just to kind of give you an idea, as we continue to grow, we're master planning for the future. Eventually, level 2 will become the baggage claim area, and all people coming inbound will go left on a new roadway that will go up to the second level, which will be baggage claim. That'll split the traffic in half. You won't have arrivals and departures coming in front of the terminal. You'll have the arrivals peel off first. Departures will go in front of terminal. Existing baggage claim will become ticketing, and then the baggage claim will move into the second level of the parking garage, and that will help with alleviate some of the inbound traffic. You see that design at a lot of airports, or some airports like Tulsa, Milwaukee, but we realize the first phase will be to build this 4-level parking garage, and we hope to get underway with that hopefully by next year. But that is a very expensive endeavor, so we're taking our time to plan it correctly. We have 17 new concessions coming. Almost all of them are at 100% design plans, so we'll be starting this year on building out these concessions. When we put this out to bid, we knew it was important to try to bring some of the local restaurants into our airport. So you'll see in the groundboarding facility, you'll see Anna Maria Oyster Bar. You will also see a Patrick's 1481. Out on the concourse, you'll see Madison's and Rise and Nyes Coffee, which is local. And then you'll also see some of the main brands like Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts. We got a Huey Magoo's going in, which is supposed to be a really good chicken place. Jimmy John's is currently in place. Wahlburgers will also be in there. Motorworks Brewing is coming as well, so they'll have a bar out on Concourse B. So lots of good concessions coming. We're very excited about that. I think that's what, we had all this growth and very little concession change, and it's been a little difficult for our passengers because they don't have the choices we feel like they need. So we're excited about that. And this is our big project. This one started over a year ago. It's our new ground level boarding terminal. We realized that 13 gates was not going to be enough for the carriers and service level we had. This last March, we were doing 85 outbound and 85 inbound flights a day. So that's a tremendous amount of service out of just 13 gates. Southwest Airlines, which was doing over 30 flights a day on Saturdays, was having to do 10 turns per gate because they only have 3 gates. So we needed gates. So we started this project, like I said, over a year and a half ago. This is going to add, it'll have 5 loading gates and an additional parking position, so as many as 6 planes can park down there. Allegiant has already set their schedule for March, and we have 6 aircraft based here. Allegiant operates a little different than a lot of these other carriers. Having based aircraft is important to the community because that means those planes start their day here and they end their day here, which means all the flight attendants, pilots, maintenance mechanics, they all live here locally, and they contribute to our community. So we're going to have 6 Allegiant flights parked down here in March, which is really great. Allegiant will give up 3 gates on the concourse, which will be helpful because we need those for expansion of our other carriers. This is, I don't know if I can get it to, this may not work, but this is going to be the ground boarding facility from the roadway on the curbside. And this kind of gives you a fly through of as you come into the terminal. It'll have its own security checkpoint. You'll see as you go in the doors here. It's equipped for a 4-lane checkpoint. We're going to start out with 3 lanes. One will be a TSA pre-check and the other 2 will be standard. That should be sufficient for getting all our passengers through the checkpoint. Like I said, right now it's only going to be an Allegiant operating in this terminal. To the left will be Patrick's 1481. It's not shown on here. And right where you're looking will be Anna Maria Oyster Bar, which will be really nice. To the right will be our gift shop, Sundries, that has coffee as well. Pete's Coffee will be to the right. And then this will be the 6 gate hold areas all down through here with the doors leading out onto the apron. So we expect to have a big push in the morning. Those flights will come back a few hours later as Allegiant flies up and back, trying to do as many as 3 cities a day per flight, per aircraft. And this is the outside. One of the interesting things with Allegiant's model is they typically don't fly on Tuesdays because in general, a lot of business travelers and people don't fly on Tuesdays, which opens it up for us to do some great events there in the evenings. So we're already kind of keeping our eye on that. We think we can do some nice things with the terminal on Tuesday, especially having Patrick's 1481 and Anna Maria Oyster Bar there. And this is kind of the outside of the terminal and how the final layout's going to look. And the inside, once again, we saw these pictures. Eventually, probably after I retire, a connector will be created that connects the existing screening checkpoint to the ground boarding facility. The existing checkpoint will be expanded to 11 lanes. And then that way we'll have one single checkpoint, and then people will turn right to go to the ground boarding facility, and they'll continue straight if they want to go out onto our concourse. And that'll allow us to continue to add additional gates as we grow. One last thing, this is the last slide. This is a project that we've partnered with Manatee County on, and it's a 50-50 project. It's going to beautify the entrance to Manatee County. It's an observation area for people to watch the planes take off and land. Currently, any given day, if you drive out there, there may be 20 cars plus sitting out there, people watching the planes. Right now, there's none because we got it fenced off and they've already started construction. So two weeks ago, we started construction. We're very excited about this project. We're going to have a history display. We're going to have a playground on there, which will be really nice with an air traffic control tower and an aircraft. We'll have a covered area for people to sit and watch the planes take off. We'll have the speakers out there so you can hear the air traffic controllers talking to the aircraft. So this is going to be a really, really nice facility at the gateway entrance to Manatee County on 15th Street East. And we really appreciate the partnership. We really appreciate the help. I know Elliot helped quite a bit in getting this pushed through, and the commissioners, the county commissioners helped approve this, which was huge. And I think it's going to be a long-lasting, huge improvement, a very nice asset, and for Manatee County. This is fully in Manatee County, so very, very excited about this. It'll be complete in, should be done by December-ish, maybe January at the latest. So we'll have a ribbon cutting for this one as well. And that is the presentation. Sorry it took so long, but I thought good information here for you.
Very good, yeah. Elliot, did you have something to say first?
He used to be shy.
Oh, he's been
when he
taking lessons
started.
from you?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
He's known as the analytical guy at the table. I'm known as the personality at the table.
Yeah.
Shocking.
You always say the eye candy.
Some say the eye candy. No, it's important to have fun. Let's let the rubber meet the road here and give a different perspective. And I really appreciate the update, Mark. Breeze alone announced 7 nonstop flights because they just added New Haven. Think about it. Annually, conservatively, that's $70 million more a year to the region. Just that. Okay, you're usually 10 to 12 million a flight year round. That new terminal, rough numbers, 110 million. Okay, no debt service added. Find another airport in the United States that can build what Mark just showed at no debt. There's one of the competitive advantages that we have that other airports don't have, that Mark can offer incentives because he's not carrying debt service. So that's attributed to Rick Piccolo and Mark Stuckey, how they manage that incredible airport called SRQ. If you want the urban core to continue to go through redevelopment, and we're not just talking Manatee County, we're talking the region, let's keep feeding the airport, okay? And you have the TIF from University Parkway all the way up to Cortez and all the way past IMG. vital for the future. And then thank you to the TDC and the Board of County Commissioners, and I say this with the utmost sincerity. You all have empowered people like me to be able to cut deals at the table. That is an oddity. Most communities have to go back to their boards and come back 6, 8, 12 weeks later with a proposal that airlines do not have time to wait. And we know with that empowerment comes accountability. So continue to hold us accountable, continue to empower us for the greater good, and things should only continue to grow. The airport has grown so fast, you all recommended it, the board approved it, that you've given us more marketing dollars to target markets of opportunity, because there's one thing about getting a commitment from an airline to start a new nonstop flight, like an Islip Long Island. There's another thing to create brand awareness regionally of that region for that to work. So we've engaged Kelly Clark. Kelly, raise your hand, who is, you've known Kelly. She's been a veteran with us for 12 years now. We need her skill set, her communication, her marketing abilities to help push out those brand elements for the greater good. So Mark and I aren't in this all alone. We have Kelly and her team that's really stepped up to really help us showcase all those nonstop flights. So it's just sometimes the numbers are so extraordinary that it kind of glazes over sometimes.
Right.
Some people get excited, 3% up, oh my gosh. But when you say double-digit numbers consistently, that's pretty extraordinary and love. And I'll close on this. You never get off the pedal of communicating and building relationships. The airline industry, number one, is probably one of the most friendly industries you'll find in hospitality. They're just good people. But number two, they move around more than we can handle. And we may be negotiating with somebody one day, and 1 week later, we'll get an email saying, hey, I've gone from this airline to that airline. And with those consistent relationships, we're able to keep pace of all these young executives moving around, because a lot of these network planners, they look like they're 12 years old. They're absolutely brilliant, but they're growing fast, and to grow fast in that industry, sometimes you have to move around. And the team in the region, including Aaron Duggan, my counterpart in Visit Sarasota, we've able to keep pace with all these checkers moving around. And like I said, it's a full-time job in itself. That's why we've engaged Kelly to help us a lot more. But it's been a lot of fun, and it's going to continue to be fruitful for our region.
Agreed.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
A lot of what Elliot said was I was going to kind of mention too, and I wanted to check with Mark. You had mentioned that there's only usually two consistent people there, you and Elliot, and then Las Vegas. And one of those things that I wanted to ask, and we saw the charts from 2018 till now and how things are growing. I think it's a testament to what this current county commission has really allowed you to do. You don't hear other people talking like that. And it's also a testament to your board, which is a very proactive board and running things more like business-like, because debt-free. And you look, if you got a lot of debt, you can't really ask for more stuff. Right. And so many people criticize what's happening in this world today everywhere. But when you look back, when you see those numbers, it's unbelievable. And that's little Manatee County, Bradenton, Florida, that is still growing at an airport that is not the size of a Dallas, a New York, Los Angeles. But having those numbers shows what a great job that people are allowing to do. Put the right people in the seats and allow them to do it. Don't try to micromanage. Don't try to kill a project. Don't try to do things. And I'm going to go back to the city of Bradenton, because I've really realized that in the 90s and early 2000s, when those commissions and those councils killed a third bridge for the city of Bradenton, that would have been between DeSoto Bridge and the interstate, they killed our traffic today.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be that third bridge anymore. We want to be the people that are proactive in bringing people, but also growing it. So I just want to say thank you. And I know that you do it. I know Elliot plays a big part, but it's also our county commission this TDC board that has a little bit of, you know, collaboration with them to go say, hey, keep this going, but also your board that has done such a great job over all the years of being debt-free and making it easier to do for you. So thank you for that.
And thank you, Mayor. Thank you for those comments. And you're absolutely right. Without the support of our boards, and we do have a fantastic board that all of our board members were appointed by the governor. So they're all business leaders that are very, very smart. And like you said, they want us to run like a business. And having the support of our CEO, Rick Piccolo, and the county commissioners and the TDC behind Elliott, we couldn't do our job without that support. We literally are, know that when we go out there, we've got the whole community behind us. And like you said, there's only 2 destination marketing organizations that meet with these airlines, Braden and CVB typically, and Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Bureau. And it's funny because we can go to any airline event and every network planning person from every airline knows who Elliott is, which is just crazy. Typically, they only deal with airport people. They don't deal with convention and visitors bureaus, but everybody knows who Elliott is, and they'll call him sometimes before they even call me. If they have if they want, sometimes when they make an announcement, which drives me crazy, but typically they'll say, hey, we're thinking about putting this route into your airport. How would you be able to help us market this route and make sure that it's successful and the seats are filled? Because they know Elliott has tools in his tool chest that I don't have, because as an airport, we're limited. Every airport's on a level playing field. But I have secret weapon in my back pocket, which is both the Bradenton area CVB and Visit Sarasota. And by partnering together with those 2, we've been able to outpace all the other airports in the U.S. And it's been fun. We don't talk about it too much out in the public because it's kind of our secret weapon, but it makes a huge difference. And in getting air service, and like Elliott was saying, if you can go to the table and they say that, this is a kind of a risky route, and Elliott says, well, I'll put an extra X amount of dollars into marketing that in your out of state and letting people know about the route and the destination. It's exactly what the TDT, the tourist tax, was meant to be for. It's to bring people to the area, and we showcase the area. So it's worked out really, really well, and all of those incentives expire after 2 to 3 years. And so you can see we've kept all of our flights, almost all of our flights. We've only had a handful drop off, and I expect those that did drop off to come back. So eventually. So yes, it's worked out very well. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, one final comment, if that's all right. And I think that shows collaboration that is bar none in Manatee County right now. Right. Because when you look at it, we may make a decision for our county, but regionally it affects us good or bad depending on that decision. Right. And like I said, the bridge regionally affects the city of Bradenton and city of Palmetto more than anybody else because they have to go through us.
Right.
And, and a lot of times they're not coming to us. Right. They're just going through us. But when you could have done something that would have been 33% of the problem or the solution, it didn't happen. So that's what I'm proud of, to say that this board in the last several years has worked together, this community has worked together to make that happen, which is so exciting to see what the future can bring.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to compliment you. It's an awesome report. It's very comprehensive, and it's so really impressive. I personally am going to make sure that all of my commissioners and department heads and everybody are aware of the results that you've presented today, because I think it speaks volumes. But they need to be sharing it with our community. And if it's one by one, however it goes, but those conversations go on all day, every day, and we need to be part of sharing the good news.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, Mark, great job. Is this on? Yeah. Yep. Good job, Elliott. I mean, it's hard to keep him a secret, though.
Oh, yes.
But obviously, a good tool in the bag, and the county commissioners are fully behind it. And I commend you guys on getting ahead of the curve also. I mean, that's exponential growth. So yeah, getting on the parking situation, new vendors, a new terminal. I mean, you're getting ahead of it, so the train's not crashing, so to speak.
Thank you.
Speaking of which, is there any special support you need on the parking garage? How's that working for you? Or is that further discussion?
We'll be presenting that in November to our board, so I don't want to get ahead of our presentation to them, but they know it's coming, and it'll be a nice enhancement for, I think, not only our customers picking up rental cars, it'll be in a shaded garage, but also those flying out that will have a shaded structure to park in as well. So we want to move forward on that. It's something we're excited to get to, but it will take a number of years to get it complete from the start date. And our only concern, as I've worked at the airport for over 30 years, is making sure that we provide a convenient, customer-friendly facility that's easy for people to travel through. And every day we work really hard to make sure that the impacts of the construction going on do not impact our customers. So that's our behind the scenes, that's our biggest thing, is focusing on continuing to have this boutique airport that is passenger friendly, easy to travel through. And that's our goal. We want to enhance that our airport as much as possible.
Well, I think with a report like this, everybody can see what you do for economic development, what you do for tourism dollars. I mean, these are big shifts in numbers, so we appreciate you. Elliot, anything left?
No, just to close the book, $110 million capital improvement project, basically paid in cash. There's no doubt we're at 70 million new additional nonstop flights, may pick up a few more. Think about it, you'll get that 110 return annually.
Right.
It's not a bad ROI for a project of this caliber. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Mark.
you.
Janine, welcome.
Mr. Chair, if I may say a few words before she takes over the meeting.
A few words, Elliot. Yes.
She came in with her sunglasses on and everything, so. You all have met Janine Amick, who is the executive director of the Manatee Performing Arts Center. Many of you know that Janine's been working on this project for several years, and we're excited for her to give us an update and ask for a recommendation. But as a lot of you know, and since I've known Janine, remember, this is a lady that many, many, many people told that you'll never build a Manatee Performing Arts Center. And you're looking at the lady that figured a way to get it done. So if she believes in this project, it will get done, and it'll be a special project. So with that, good morning, Janine.
Good morning, Elliot. Thank you very much for the opportunity to give you guys an update. Before I go into the newest project, I thought that I would give you some other updates in regards to the organization very quickly, if I know which button to move. All right, the one at the bottom. We actually updated our mission statement coming out of COVID. We really looked at all of the programs that we were providing the community, as well as each individual who was using the facility, the campus, why they were coming downtown. So our purpose is to create, entertain, and strengthen an artistic, creative, curious, and thriving community by bringing people together. If you've been in the facility lately, you'll know that it may be about education. It may be about a community forum. It may be somebody celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary all the way to a bar mitzvah. Entertainment is still 90% of our earned revenue. For instance, yesterday, we're in August, and we had standing room only, sold out crowd for anything goes. We opened Fantastics just in 26 days, have already had to extend the show. We have 3 performances out of the 14 already sold out. So we're excited about the downtown traveler, as well as those visitors in the community who are coming to see shows while they're here. Here's some of the stats just from last year. 32,000 unique individuals came on our campus. We made sure we didn't double count anybody. So you will also realize, if you're a seasoned subscriber yourself, you may come to 7 shows We only counted you once. So this was very exciting coming out of COVID. These numbers are going back to pre-COVID, and they're actually exceeding now. So we feel good as an organization that we're finally bouncing back. People feel comfortable gathering around other individuals. Remember, our main house sits 350 at full capacity, and at times coming right out of the pandemic, people didn't want to be in a full room. So we know that at least for our patrons and our clients, that mindset is starting to settle. If they do have an aversion to that, we are more than welcome to go over and we look at dates that might be more conducive to what they want to see. 11 full-time employees, 2 part-time. We contracted last year 52 professional artists. I think that's important to believe and understand from your perspective of where you guys and how you support us on an annual basis. Even though all of our actors for our Manatee Players productions are volunteers, every single one of the musical directors, the scenic designers, the lighting designers, the artistic director themselves, they're professionals. They're not, they may be teachers during the day, but they're directors by night. And so this is a big contributor to why we have a $2 million operating budget on an annual basis. And so when people see that, we want to make sure that they are mindful that although it's volunteer-based, they're all professional-driven shows. 271 volunteers participated last year, either on stage or backstage, and 236 students attended at least one education program. Our education programs are 12 months out of the year. Our vision is that the Florida Cultural Group, that's actually the legal name of the organization. I bring that to your attention because as our campus grows, Manatee Performing Arts Center is just the name of the facility that you happen to know and come in to enjoy. We want to be a cultural anchor, continue to be an economic driver for the region, and we will continue to provide affordable, high-quality, thought-provoking entertainment, as well as performance and technical-based education. In addition, we will equip the community with ample meeting space, event, and production space. So, why I'm here is you, as a TDC, heard a presentation probably about 4 years ago, if not 5. We were anxious to grow right before the pandemic, our education programs, as well as make sure that we had dedicated rehearsal space. We had partnered and negotiated with the Board of County Commissioners. We had purchased the GTE building downtown, funds in the bank to renovate, a set of plans ready to go. And then with wonderful growth downtown, a new vision from the Board of County Commissioners about the new parking garage, we sold them back the building, and we believe for the betterment of everybody, a great parking garage downtown, as well as we now have the opportunity to purchase for a nominal fee the land right next to the Performing Arts Center. These 2 buildings actually will connect. So what you see is a building that is 28,000 square foot, fully dedicated to education rehearsal programs. We want you to think bigger. What this building will be for the arts and performance-based education, as well as technical design education, is what IMG is for sports. Yes, our students who normally come on Saturday mornings to go through a 12-week process of learning how to put on the show will still be a part of our core. But we're looking at bringing professional songwriters camps. We are looking at partnering with secondary higher educations to be able to use this facility during the day for accredited dance. We already are in conversations with St. Stephen's so that students who want to come for accredited dance, ballet primarily, in the afternoons will be able to get their education during the day and be able to leave school at 11:30. So we want to be able to embrace the next level of artists who want to get on a track to professionalism. The other unique thing about the facility that we're excited about is the little graphic I added last night in my, attempts to be a marketer that I am not. That is actually a video board. Imagine you're in Times Square and you have the video board going around the corner. It's telling you, so right on the corner of 3rd Avenue and 7th Street West, a great location on Avenue of the Arts for us to be able to talk about and show people who are driving down the street what's going on, and it's eye-catching. First floor, 2 large studios, and the wonderful thing about the studios is that they're behind double doors. This first floor will be dedicated to our young artist education. Included in this space is private rehearsal rooms for those individuals who are looking to be the next music vocalist or pianist. So you'll see here, this is a view of what one of our studios will look like. Making sure that we can transition very quickly from a ballet class to a musical theater class. Also, the small rooms, we wanted to make sure that teachers in the area have a public place that they can go and now provide individual private lessons without parents having to drop people off at homes. It's a great new way of thinking about getting back into private study in regards to guitar or saxophone or voice in a neutral space that has security in it so that both the teacher and the student feel very comfortable. Our second floor, administrative wings, but I want to draw your attention to the boardroom right in the center of the floor. It will seat 30. Currently at the Performing Arts Center, at any given day, we have nonprofits, Braden and Kiwanis Club, Braden and Kiwanis Foundation, Prodigal Daughters, just to name a few, using the big halls we have on the second floor for their board meetings. If you've ever been in there during a small gathering of people, it may be difficult to hear. And so we are making sure we're incorporating into the new space a board room that will be available for the community at large as an additional rental space for us. Again, a nominal fee, but being able to meet the needs of so many who are currently using our space. Sometimes we have to tell them no when other people want to rent the full hall. Third floor. Another studio, large, it's 1,500 square foot. That 1,500 square foot is the same size as our main stage. And so giving people the opportunity to actually rehearse in a space that's the same size as the stage is amazing. If you've ever been in a production, one of the hardest things to overcome 1 week normally before the show takes place is you might be practicing in somebody's garage. I'm gonna sing from here to Elliott, okay? And I can do that without a problem. I've been practicing for 5 weeks. Then I get on stage and all of a sudden I'm practicing from me to the door, getting my steps. Remember, these are volunteers. So we wanted to provide a space in the new building that actually gives them the ability to learn the production from day one at a full space that they're going to perform from. The 2 smaller spaces will provide those who want to get into more of our drama and maybe not so much into the singing. All the way over to the right is one of the things I'm super excited about. I'm a CEO at the Performing Arts Center during the week, but on Sundays, I run the soundboard at my church. I love being able to provide and give back to the community. So many of our churches, doesn't matter the denominations, have moved to a high level of AVL, audio, visual, and learning on a Sunday morning while you have somebody preaching at the front is really not the best way of learning. We don't want to turn somebody off their microphone. We don't want a camera to actually go in the wrong direction. We've incorporated into this space actually a sound recording studio as well as a technical learning lab in media and in lighting. This will just give you an example of the lighting room. It's a piped grid ceiling that is at a level where you don't need to get up on a lift. We're actually just have small ladders so that we can teach people how to actually put up their lights, how to focus them properly, how to have them actually programmed into the software and be able to run a show. The sound room that you see not only will work for the sound recording studio that is on the other side of the wall if somebody wants to cut their next gold record, but what we're doing is we are actually piping the sound from Stone Hall into this recording studio. That means on a Thursday night at 7:30, we can now provide a live class in theater training, because what they're going to see on a monitor is what's going on stage in the main house, and then be able to learn how to tweak EQ, how to change faders, how to make sure they're pulling up the gain if they need to, or bring down somebody's EQ because they might have had too much NyQuil right before they got on stage. But being able to do those things in an environment with actually a live performance where it is not messing up the sound at all in the main house. So in order to get this ready, we are already launching some new programs this year. We've added a whole new tribute band concert. We've got 9 additional shows that we're doing. We're doing this because we're starting to partner, not just by providing the entertainment for you to enjoy by purchasing a ticket. We're partnering with some of the local bands who are now using our space for rehearsals. Then they're taking our stage and then they go on tour. So imagine those bands during the day also being able to use those smaller studios on the 3rd floor. We're doing a speaker series this year. With partnership with Elliott, I hope to announce next month some amazing things. But the first speaker series, we want to talk about evolution of the entertainment industry. We want to talk about that artist who started 60 years ago. How have they kept themselves relevant? A director, how do they keep up on the latest and greatest software and keep true to the artistry of movie making, but not lose so much in the special effects that we don't have good storylines? What happens to that artist, or that, for what we hope, an athlete who is no longer a professional athlete, who's moved into the entertainment? So having individuals come in once a month and be able to, almost like an old-fashioned masterclass, and talk about how have they, within their own person, been able to stay relevant with so many changes in an industry that is ever evolving every single day. You will all remember on this panel, what it was to be a gold record. Okay, and now you might have a song that hits YouTube and you're #1 tomorrow and no one can remember your name 1 week from now. And so how, as bigger artists, can we do that? We're still doing our Manatee Players main stage. We're doing our studio series. We've got a great load of fun that's going to be in there. Something really cool. We are going to be the first in the nation. We're partnering with Disney. Yes, I said Disney. Everybody's heard of High School Musical Junior, High School Musical. They are going to allow us to do High School Musical Senior. And what does that mean? We are doing it with senior citizens, 55 years and over, will be doing High School Musical. Disney's actually has a whole slew of education for youth. That is mainly all of the curriculum that we use currently, where the kids come in, learn about theater, and then produce a Disney show. Well, Disney has also now known that senior education and entertainment, is important not only for the soul, but agility. And so they have working with us and are rewriting the script a little. So we hope that you will come and join us. Tickets are already on sale for April to see High School Musical Senior. And if you're 55 years or older, we're still looking for people who would be willing to be in that show. Their rehearsals are on Wednesday from 11 to 1. And again, we have year-round education and a variety of spaces. I know each of you have been in the building, so I won't go over those. That's my presentation in regards to the update and letting you know about Sarah Studios. The project will be about $5.5 million. We have $2 million in cash in the bank. We have a grant ready for the Bishop Parker Foundation of $2 million. We also have already spoken to the Selby Foundation and have a grant already written and ready to submit in their next cycle. They're very interested, and it looks like may be willing, depending on their funding cycle, to actually support the suspension floors. So all of the rooms in the studios will be built up wood dancing so that you can do tap, jazz, waltz, or ballet. It's not just me coming in on a floor like this and throwing, some hardwood over it. It's actually a built-up system that has about a 4-inch depression underneath, where you're building it up with 1x4s and certain foam in between. We want to make sure that our ballerinas don't come down and twist an ankle. We're also talking to the Kiwanis Foundation, with partnership with Kiwanis Club, of a request of $100,000. Their $100,000 will be specifically used to upgrade all the ADA needs. You saw, and you have in your packet, hopefully, pictures of the facility where all of the new studio rooms are double doors. We want to, because if you've been following us for the last 2 years, we started a Penguin program where we have been meeting the needs in an educational-based program for those with disabilities and giving them the opportunity to be on stage in the light, being able to do a full show. We noticed in our own building, if you're in a wheelchair, it's very difficult because you want to be self-reliant, okay, to be able to go up to a door and open it to get into the rehearsal rooms. So we're making sure all of the new rehearsal rooms are fitted with a magnetic hold. We're making sure that our elevator will accommodate not just 1, 2, or 3, but a greater number, and especially the electronic wheelchairs, giving them full access to the facility. And with that $100,000, we will also retrofit some of our current spaces at the Performing Arts Center to make those same ADA upgrades. Our hope, with the help of the city and getting our permit through, our actual hope is to break ground in October. We want to be open in January of 2026. And we hope to do that with an educator at the highest level, secondary, to be able to provide dance studies as curriculum for college students. And we hope to share more about that with you once we have signatures on dotted lines.
Excellent. How did you want to?
If I can just make a few comments, I'm just in a chatty mood this morning, Mr. Chair.
He always has to follow up.
That's really rare.
Question and then a couple comments. Jenny, and maybe when I walk there, I don't listen very well. Donors, other commitments to date?
$2 million in the bank. We have $500,000 in pledges. One of the pledges is $200,000. It's $20,000 a year for 10 years. So we, as an organization, are going to over fundraise a bit. Our goal is not to go out on a loan. Oh, thank you for saying loan, Janine, because one of the greatest things that happened to the organization, which is a huge update, is in May of this up and coming year, we have a balloon. We had a balloon on our current facility of $2.5 million. We had a mortgage with Truist. Coming out of COVID, we have tried very hard to work with 5 different financial institutions. And as long as we owed the city $2.3 on the parking lot across the street, none of the banks would renegotiate or refinance our mortgage. We talked to a family who has loaned to nonprofits before, that if we could, not after the first of the year, find a bank that would work with us. Would they be willing to loan us the money to pay off the mortgage? They called us up and they said yes. The mortgage has actually already been paid off. They sent us the $2.6 million, and the reason why they sent 2.6 is they gave $100,000 to this particular project, and then they said, we want to help you get more than halfway through your project. They're not counting anything we already had in the bank. Sadly, they will not count the county's money if we hope that you will approve today. But after that, what would be left is $2.5 million to raise on our half. And for every dollar we raise for Sarah's Studios, they will forgive. And so we're hoping by December 31st, all the money has been matched, and we no longer have a mortgage on the facility, and we have a fully funded brand new conservatory. Hopefully that made sense, but to us that was huge, that not only are dollars going into a new capital project, they're buying down debt on our current building.
And that's always been important to the TDC, to have multiple partners into a capital improvement project. There is some programming built into the recommendation for 1.3 million. The speaker series, there would be some icons coming in to the community. The songwriting camps would be taught by a multi-Grammy award-winning producer songwriter. And there's no doubt you would have students that would come in for the week as a visitor just to participate in those songwriting camps. At the end of the day, if you want to continue to rebuild your urban core, if you want to continue to draw in small businesses, and you want to draw visitors off the island when there's a cloudy day or they get premature sunburn, and take that water ferry to the day dock in downtown Bradenton, you need to enhance your arts, culture, and heritage. Research will tell us that the visitor comes to the Bradenton area, first and foremost, is here because of the beaches. Second, they're here because of the food. And thirdly, and surprisingly to some, they're here to learn the history of our community. So with that, Mr. Chair, we're here to answer any questions. And after that, we're looking for a recommendation this morning that this would be a legal use of the tourism tax proceeds.
So yeah, you can frame that later. Real quick question: the 5 million. So you talked about this, funding for the special flooring, ADA. Is that all in the 5 million?
Yes, sir.
It is all in there. Okay.
Yes, sir. And including purchasing the land.
Okay, great. Any questions, guys?
Yeah, just comments if that's all right. Obviously, being the mayor of the city of Bradenton, we're very proud of our arts and culture with the Bishop, with the Art Center that it's under a several $million renovation that's hopefully going to open up next year, and then with this project, and they're all three right together. Many years ago, when I first came in, there was some talk of moving the Art Center out to Lakewood Ranch and really to separate. Not that we didn't want an art center in Lakewood Ranch, but we thought it was best to try to keep it in that urban core where things were kind of able to be visited all in one day. And I think you'll see that a lot where people will come down and stay. We've just approved our development agreement on the City Hall property, where there's going to be another hotel coming in the next couple of years. There's another hotel that's being talked about right across the street from the Art Center and the Players. So that will only continue to grow the urban core. So I think this is a great opportunity to support this. And Mr. Chair, I'd like to make that motion going forward to support this project.
I'd second that.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Nada.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. I would like to say one other thing, though. We have world-class sports coaching, and this, in my opinion, raises us up to that level here in performing arts. So thank you for your efforts.
Thank you, Mr. Turner.
And here we have Elliot with the 6 penny update.
Great.
Is it exciting?
It's an opportunity. I'd like to acknowledge just some elected officials. Greg Kitchener, thanks for being here. City Councilman for Holmes Beach. Dan Diggins, the shady guy in the back over there, another Holmes Beach City Councilman. Are there any other elected officials here that I haven't acknowledged? And then one of my best friends, Liz Andrix. She hates me right now. Liz is one of our former Ambassador of the Year award winners. And honestly, when I really didn't know what I was doing as a tourism director, Liz was my #1 mentor. You taught me how to understand the international market. So thank you for being here. It's always great to have professionals like Liz at our meetings. 6 penny, we're all set to be on the ballot in November, working with the Supervisor of Elections. The Board of County Commissioners approved it on July 30th. Just for the public consumption, I call me a preacher, but it's always important to reiterate why we're trying to do what we're doing. Number one, the 6 penny at the end of the day is 1 penny on the dollar that would be added if the community voted yes on that. What does this tax mean to the community? Well, number one, since the mid to late 80s, we've used 1 penny for beach renourishment, beach maintenance. It's now 1.25 percentage that goes specifically to beach renourishment, beach maintenance. It allows for custodians keeping the bathrooms clean, garbage, groins, etc. We would think that that beach out there helped weather Tropical Storm Debbie a little bit, protecting this great island called Anna Maria as well. The tourism tax paid for in partnership for the restoration of the city pier on Anna Maria Island and the historic Bridge Street. It also is funding, not all of it, but probably 95% of the water ferry service. To date, your Tourist Development Council is into it for $4.5 million because $3 million was recently spent to build that third 96-seat ferry. 67 seats will be enclosed. It also has been used on arts, culture, and heritage, the Bishop Museum, the Art Center Manatee Performing Arts Center, the center on Anna Maria Island. My good friend Chris Colhan. Chris, raise your hand. And he's like me. He surrounds himself with smarter people. Jillian, who, by the way, is the sister of this lady right here. So thank you. We will continue to partner on your annual concert series that is not only entertained residents, but visitors that come here. And then at the end of the day, 100% of the net proceeds go into this facility for the kids to do all we can to maintain a sense of community on this island. Moult Marine Aquarium, the TDC and the board has also put money into that new project at University Parkway. Of course, the Convention Center project, you all are into for about $51 million. That'll give about a minimum $30 million annual return as well. Premier Sports Campus, the sports segment alone is a $350 million industry a year. And then as Mark Stuckey had mentioned, it provides airline incentives at that place called the Sarasota Bradenton International Airport. 1 penny on the dollar if the residents decide to say yes will generate about $8 million a year. And I tell you what, in my short term, I think I'm on like 16 years as the tourism director. The Tourist Development Councils, the Board of County Commissioners have really invested in a manner that provides assets that really allows for a consistent influx of visitation on a year-round basis. We've always looked at, from a cautionary standpoint, of investing in a seasonality where you may not need that kind of visitation, but where do you really need a push? And I know the TDC and the commissioners have really invested in the summer season and in the fall. So that's where we're at. Where I need y'all's help is we are statutorily handcuffed. We cannot spend money to advertise, to create awareness of this. I can interview with the media and educate. The TDC can talk to the community and educate. So we're going to ask the TDC for support. We're going to talk to our chambers of commerce in Manatee County, the business alliances, and really just kind of, we need a grassroots, honest education of why this tax is important to the local community. We are trending to be north of $30 million in tourism tax generator again, and that equates to about $80 million of sales tax generation that really helps provide services for our local community that ultimately enhances the quality of life. So unless there's any questions, that is my 6-penny report, Mr. Chair.
Excellent. Yeah, I think the biggest misnomer is it's showing up on the ballot as a tax, and constituents not understanding that it's not a tax to them, it's a tax to short-term rentals. Another thing, Elliot, our neighboring counties already have this, right?
It's a good question. Sarasota levies 6 pennies right now. Hillsborough County, Pinellas County, of course, the big gorilla, Orange County in the center of the state. Yeah, so we're one of the last West Coast communities, put Port Charlotte aside, and probably Collier County as one that doesn't collect 6 pennies on the dollar. We wouldn't be standing here right now. The legislators changed the law in the summer of '23. It was always at the pleasure of the Board of County Commissioners via a supermajority approval. We're going to look forward and not worry about what happened in the past. But you're right. To the eyes of a voter, sometimes a tax is a tax is a tax. We just hope that they take a step back and understand what the value might be before they make that vote.
Yeah, and if we've got investors that have multiple rentals that are short term, they have to understand it's not taking them. They're as competitive as ever. It's seamless to them.
Yes, and you were there. One citizen had public comment. If a Manatee County resident stayed in a short-term rental in Manatee County, would they be assessed that 1 penny? Short answer, absolutely. That is probably a very small percentage of people, but obviously the value to me supersedes the tax all day long. Remember, tourism is the #1 industry in the state of Florida, and that is what feeds our economy. And I've been publicly honest to say we will not ask the Board of County Commissioners or the TDC to use any part of this additional 1 penny tax to market the destination.
Yeah. Well, you've done a great job of summarizing the benefits of this kind of tax. So does anybody else have anything to say?
Mr. Chair.
Oh, no. Jeez.
No, I think this is something, I just wanted you to really articulate, Elliot, and maybe it's more or not just yes or no, but you mentioned kind of where the money goes. And we've seen on this board where there's times when some don't feel like they're getting all they deserve in some of our communities. And when you talk about beach renourishment, you talk about the money that's being put out there, you've got to look at the whole pie. And when the whole pie is spread out, it is really, being fairly distributed in a lot of ways. And I think with this, so some of those that might say, well, we're not getting it, we're not going to support it, I would hope they would really look at the whole pie and be willing to say, how are we going to support this? Because traditionally myself, and I know a lot of us up here and a lot of us on the county commissioners aren't for additional taxes for our local people. This is not an additional tax to the local people. This is an additional tax to the people coming here that will help us pay for other things. And I know some people don't think that, but when you drill down on it, you'll see where it really is. And if the beaches weren't being renourished, the island wouldn't exist right now.
Yeah, and special thanks to Charlie Hunsaker. You all know him for many, many years, has really helped maintain those beautiful beaches. Each beach renourishment, depending on the weather, is about an $18 to $22 million endeavor, that hydraulic dredge. And the state of Florida has participated, the federal government, so it even takes more than just the tourism tax. I always share, I've shared it with you all, I share it with the new county commissioners. I give a 10-year synopsis of how the TDC and the board invested their money. Remember, I'm a community servant that really doesn't see politics at all. I'm here as a hopeful expert that always harps on a return of investment and where you invest depending on the season. You can drill down to certain counties that have invested politically in a time of the year that you're piling on. The good news is we have a lot of one-on-one dialogue that I don't share with anybody because we're all in the sunshine. I seek balanced partnerships, and we know the municipality we're talking about. We participate in a manner that it makes sense, and right now, aside from beaches and piers and parks, there's really limited on how we can use the tourism tax legally. But I'll be bringing an item with Holmes Beach to the board in September for their pleasure. Just total honestly, and I love Greg and I love Dan. I am who I am. But I was dragging my feet a little bit to see if we can bring the water ferry into Holmes Beach just to package that. I just felt in my heart nobody was nudging me. And right now we landed on, and I've given both of these guys my word that we're going to look at Kingfish with Charlie Hunsaker, and the mayor has assigned me a really good staff guy, Chad, to work like hell to see if we can bring that water ferry into Kingfish. And I will note that on the agenda packet when I bring it to the Board of County Commissioners as they consider the other project that are recommended. So the best thing I can do is consistently communicate and consistently be transparent and seek balance. And I think we're there. And I gave you a long-winded answer, but if you look at the last 10 years of how the board and the TDC has spent the money, it's pretty cool on how balanced it was, and it had nothing to do with politics. It just, look, the Florida Railroad Museum in Parrish, people would say, well, why'd you invest in that? Well, guess what? We're trying to drive new dollars into that corridor, and we're trying to create a sense of community. That in itself was worth the $1.5 million, and hopefully that'll domino other opportunities to continue to stimulate that area. It's not brain surgery. I'm not the smartest guy you've met. You all know that. But it's pretty simple, stupid on how you can develop and redevelop a community using non-tax residential taxes. That is exciting. Sorry for the long-winded answer. I've got a lot of caffeine in me, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
You're both a little long, but anyways, go ahead.
I'd just like to make one comment because I take my commissioners out and we go and speak to all the different CDDs in Palmetto and the mobile home parks. And I've had an opportunity to just mention the tax. And really the way I explain it to the average taxpayer is the tourists are going to be providing things that will be here year round for all of us to take benefit of. And there's been so many things through the years, and I will even list some, but really it's improving our whole community for year round. The things don't go away when the tourists go away. So let them help us to have a nicer and more vibrant community. So that, in a nutshell, that's how I try to explain it without getting into too much of the mathematics.
Yes, thank you. For the record, right now, if this did pass in November, we would be statutorily capped. So there's no 7 penny in the future. 6 penny is basically the max that anybody in the state of Florida can levy unless the statute changed. I don't anticipating that changing at all. Okay. And Mayor Bryant, congratulations. Your Marriott Hotel has been open, I think, for 3 weeks.
Yes.
And that's going to generate almost $7 million a year of tourism tax to your community. So appreciate your hard work on that.
And if you haven't gone to visit it, the restaurants are open, and it's a beautiful facility, absolutely beautiful.
through that. Anything else? Tourism update?
Yeah, Ann Wittine was unable to make it today, so I'm your tourism report. So hang in there with me. Bill, I may need you. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that. Wow. Thank you, Chris Dolan, for last minute adding that to the PowerPoint. So in a nutshell, remember, we saw a lot of pent-up demand right after Hurricane Ian, Sarasota more. I'll be candid, I was kind of upset at a publication where they said, Sarasota's down in June, and it was almost like a headline. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? They had all those contractors staying in a lot of Sarasota hotels, serving, the people in Lee County and in Collier County. Sarasota County's doing well with visitation in the month of June. So remember, we came out of an unprecedented domestic pent-up demand, and then Hurricane Ian came through, and then we were hosting a lot of people that needed short-term rentals. So going from that last year to this year and being basically flat, right? 0.9 is flat, is great. And remember, less is more is good, right? We don't need to be breaking tourism records. As your tourism director, that's not what our objective is. Nice, sustainable visitation 12 months a year. Nothing major peaks and lulls. Look at the, just slide down to the occupancy rate. So you have less visitors, higher occupancy. The room rates kicked up a little over 2%. That is good. That is confident short-term rental managers not wanting to compromise those rates because visitation is off a little bit. Your overall economic impact is up. Your revenues per room, those are great numbers. Come on, $220 a night, Liz, in June. Go back 5 years. That's a wish and a prayer. So we're pointing, not only us, but we're pointing at the right prospective visitor that can afford the amenities in Manatee County. Okay, now what's going to happen? Y'all saw it. St. Regis just opened up, the old colony, after all those years. Talking about 5-star brand. God bless them. We're thrilled for them. Why? Because it's going to benefit us. Okay, we're going to gain on compression, and you're going to get first-time visitors to the St. Regis that are going to continue to come back, and they may discover an Anna Maria Island or other parts of Longboat Key. So that brand on the island is really, really exciting. Gosh, some of the photos look just unbelievable. Look at your visitor origins. A lot of it plays in the growth of the Sarasota Bradenton. Of course, being 10% up in Florida, the drive market, no surprise. There's a little bit of a recovery there. Southeast has really been always a little bit of a tough nut to crack. That Atlanta market, that Charlotte market, so doing really, really well there. Remember, Atlanteans they're wired to go to Panama City. They're wired to go to Destin, Fort Walton, making those drives. So we're trying to say, hey, 7 flights a day. It goes from Atlanta to SRQ on Delta. Fly 1 hour and enjoy, the islands of Anna Maria Island, Longboat Key. So that's working. Northeast, still strong. Look at the Midwest. Once again, a lot of added flights in Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin. We can go on and on and on. Very important part. You know how I harp on Canada. God bless the Canadians. It is a very small market. It's Ontario. We're just doing some public relations there. I mentioned to one of the TDC members before the meeting, you may see a lot of Ontario plates here in the wintertime. Those are snowbirds. They're making the long drive down. They're staying here 2-3 months. They're staying in some of our rental communities. The Canadian market is very cyclical and so easily subjected to the slightest adversity. If that loonie adjusts a little bit, that market can go like that. So that's where we invest a lot of our equity into the United Kingdom. That includes Ireland, and then also Central Europe, being Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. The nonstop Amsterdam flight to Tampa that was doing really well in 2019 is now back. So we're going to go ahead and go into Scandinavia and other parts of the Dutch market. And then also Scotland is more inclined to fly out of Amsterdam than London. So that should enhance our European market. Kelly Clark also oversees that really important market to us as well. And what Kelly discovered in meetings in the past year is because of the unprecedented domestic demand and the rates mainly on the islands have gone up, we have to now target more of a luxury tour operator. So, and they have more ability to weather economic fluctuation, adversarial. It's more of a they can weather any kind of adversario. So that's exciting. But when she flips that switch, you're looking at a good 14 months before really you see the impact on the island. Remember, the international market, being mainly United Kingdom and Central Europe, really starts coming in around August 1 until about January 15th. So as the domestic market tails off when school starts, we're there right now. Now you have a domestic market that's mainly couples and maybe a little bit of family on the weekends. So where do you mitigate that? You bring in the families from the European market to offset that, to continue to feed your small businesses on a 12 months. It's that simple. It's kind of complicated. I needed mentors like Liz to teach me how to do it. Now I have experts like Kelly that know how to do it. So that may be it. And I think that is it. So that's a quick update. We're cruising pretty good. We will respectively we won't let our guard down. I'll tell you one more thing. We had a big strategic planning meeting out here on the island a few months ago. And when you only have so much marketing dollars to work with, and the guy that you're looking at is very comfortable with the marketing dollars that he has in his approved budget. I've always told the public, investing in markets is like buying stocks. Where are you going to get your strongest ROI based on where you invest it? But since Mark has been blessed with so much growth in a very short period of time, we're probably going to shift some dollars from some of our mature markets and go into markets that used to be markets of opportunity with a high ceiling. And it's a little bit risky. So staff knows that when it's successful, they'll get all the credit. When we fail, it'll be on Elliot's shoulder. But we have to go ahead and play around with those markets because we want to see those airlines have the confidence that the nonstop flights are working. Now, when Mark says, hey, we lost a few, one of it's a seasonality thing, but number two, you're going to see multiple ultra low-cost carriers at some point battle in the same market. So we kind of back off and we kind of let them do that, and we just generalize the brand awareness there. So where two airlines may go into one market, it could end up, let's see what airline wins. Sometimes it's aircraft, the type of aircraft that they're flying, because they can run that flight more efficient and effectively. So remember, marketing is very artistic with a little bit of science, the science being the research. So we are in the artistic mode right here. It's a lot of fun, but you'll see some marketing dollars be shifted around there for the greater good. So with that, Mr. Chair, I'm open for any research questions.
Anything? Nope. What are those markets? What are the potential ones that we're not hitting?
Well, in a nutshell, it's going to be the big three in Ohio, so Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati. Islip, we've been going after Islip for, 2 years. New York is our number one market. White Plains is another really good a high demographic corridor market, but we like Islip a lot, Long Island, because right now the Long Island residents got to go all the way to JFK. We're really pushing hard in Boston Logan. We really want to see that become a year-round flight. Connecticut is a huge growing market for us. So Hartford, New Haven, high demographic state. You want Connecticut residents enjoying this beautiful area. They can afford it. They're likely to convert to real estate or business owners as well. So, I mean, those are, in a nutshell, small. Texas is huge. Houston and Dallas, we're going to really hit that hard too, because you have multiple airlines going into both of those cities as well. You can see my blood gets going here. Are we still targeting to get to the west coast of the United States? Yes, 100. We are aggressive. Is it hard? 100%, absolutely. Is there a lot of competition? 100%, absolutely. And that's where the trust is going to need to be important. The unique investment's going to be important. So right now we're teasing them with a lot of research that a lot of destinations won't offer, to show them that there is an upside to the market there, like a Los Angeles per se.
Right.
Because you have the taxes in California, and now you have the remote working where they can work for a California employer but live in a beautiful community like this. So there's a lot of value there. When might we get there? 2 years, maybe a little bit longer, but we're working hard on it.
Okay. Anything else, guys? No. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great seeing everybody. I really, really appreciate it. Y'all have a great day. I'm going to go back behind my chair.
You look good up there, though, Elliot. I mean, so any new business?
I'll share with this, Mr. Chair. So Ed Chow's, so happy for him. It's bittersweet, right? That he sold his 3 restaurants on the island. And gosh, Ed Chow's, we're going to find out, but he was pushing 30 years on this Tourist Development Council. So obviously, he's out of the hospitality industry in our community. So he's that's why he's not here. So we'll be showcasing that seat to the community. And I'm total transparency again. I'm dragging my feet because Mayor Bryant has been reappointed. And she will no longer be mayor after the election. Mayor, is that January? When's your last day as mayor?
My last day as mayor, I hand the gavel over on November 18th.
Okay, so then we'll go out. That'll be an elected official seat. Other than a county commissioner, you only have one county commissioner who acts as the chair. So then we'll go through that. I think all seats will be totally restored for the February TDC meeting. We'll have one more meeting in October, one more meeting in December, and I think it's okay to have 8 Tourist Development Council members. So, Mayor Brown, congratulations. He was just reappointed. And always remember, folks, that the city of Bradenton is guaranteed a seat on the TDC as the largest municipality in Manatee County. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
It was a shoo-in.
So October, we figure we'll have the seats filled?
No, we will. I'll come to the Board of County Commissioners probably between Thanksgiving and Christmas to appoint Mayor Bryant's seat and then to appoint somebody for Ed Chow's seat as well.
Okay, great. Any old business?
No.
Besides us sitting up here old. Yeah. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.